I love it.
What is going on, friends, family, and fellow resellers? Thank you for joining us tonight for another episode. Let's talk about it.
I am.
Oh, shit. Let me get rid of this other screen. I forget about that. Okay.
What me this time?
It wasn't you that time. Tonight we're going to talk about what is. A bunch of questions I'm going to ask these folks and anybody else that wants to come in. Going to keep it fun tonight. And of course, we got my executive producer, Deb, Swag Baby. Y'all be sure and subscribe to her if you're not already subscribed to her. And the dynamic duo, Marcel and Kathy.
Sporting purple.
Hey, fellas.
They're sporting purple for lupus.
Yeah.
We're sporting purple for Lupus Awareness Month. I suffer from lupus, so yes, this is why we're purple.
And I just can't pull out the red like Dwayne does. So
yeah.
I hate to say it, but you look like some of those walkers in Walking Dead. You know?
All right. We're gonna have to work. I'm gonna have to grow some hair.
In a minute.
Yeah. He's gonna have to grow some hair.
Kathy, I'm gonna show my ignorance here. Tell me about lupus.
Lupus. Well, there's two different types of lupus. It's an internal autoimmune disease that affects the body internally. It fights itself against good blood cells.
Right.
And then you have the rash type. Most people recognize it with the rash that goes over your nose. And we do have some of that, but it also it affects your body more on the internal side. Mine does. It's called SLE. And what it does is, like when I have an infection, if I get a cold, my cold attacks my healthy blood cells and attacks me. So it starts attacking my heart, my liver, my kidneys. So I have to keep up with everything that's going on with blood work. It's hard to get diagnosed with it, but they are starting to get more advanced technology and learning how to do it. President Trump just signed a $14 million bill in order to do more research because they're starting to get more active at the Capitol and going out there and doing a lot of, I guess, boots on the ground, basically.
Right.
And yesterday, sitting outside, the lady across the street, I've been talking to her for years, and she liked my hair, and I told her what it was for, and come to find out she has lupus. And she sounds just like me because we both fight off kind of the same infection. It's just a common cold to you is I'm in the bed for 3 weeks, if not more, fighting that disease off and praying to God it don't affect anything else worse in my body. I look normal to you, and I can look like healthy, like I look okay, but I could be hurting from head to toe, and you'd never know it.
I can understand that.
Yeah, it's a rough disease. So, but yeah, we're just trying to bring more awareness because breast cancer, not taking anything from cancer awareness or anything like that, but it just needs to be recognized more and brought to the forefront as far as trying to get it diagnosed, trying to find, other than pushing off pills. I was on Paxil for years and I hated it. I mean, and stress is our biggest attacker of our body. So it's just trying to get more awareness of lupus awareness. And I think we're just trying to do our part, and this is our part for it, and that's how
what a way to keep it light there, Tom.
Well,
Sorry.
We'll go from light now. What happened to Maggie? I saw Maggie come in.
I know. I think she's right back.
I think she was having some technical difficulty.
Okay. Let me get out my magic mirror here and say hello to some people. Hello, Denos, Toolbox, Cindy. Good to see you tonight. True 72, Mike the Crazy Card. Excuse me, the Crazy Card. Craig the Land Shark Picker.
Hey, Craig.
Kathy and Maggie. Come back, Maggie.
Come back, Maggie.
Maggie, come back.
But let's give her a minute, see if she's going to try to get back in here, Maggie.
She probably was having a bad connection.
Yeah. It's been, I was talking to a friend earlier today on the telephone, and he works from home, and he manages like 4 networks.
Mhm.
Their company has 4 different locations, and he manages the networks. And he actually lives here, and well, actually, he lives in Raleigh, and they have an office in Richmond. They have one in Raleigh. They also have one in Richmond, Winston-Salem, and Columbia, South Carolina. And so he works from home, and he can get to any of them relatively, within 4 hours, 5 hours by driving. And their network, he had to go into their office and work today because his home network would not stay up.
Oh
It
wow.
was constantly crashing.
Ugh.
I told him he needed to get off that wallet and get the business class. If you have business class, they're supposed to get out there and get you back up online before they do anybody else.
Anybody, yeah, they're supposed to. I don't know how well that works or not.
I think, because Roberta works for our carrier, and it sometimes it takes us longer for she has to go in because they can't get the system back online out here in our neighborhood, and that really makes her happy.
Yeah.
When she gets going on something, and then she has to go in and take care. She has to get in, go back into the office, and kick stuff off again.
Yeah.
Oh,
And so it's give me 1 second to do something, and we'll get this thing going. Should be really. I've been doing this all freaking all week long,
I know.
and I should be really fast at this.
There's Maggie. Hey, Maggie.
Hey,
Hey, Maggie.
Hey, Maggie.
Okay, I think I'm working good now.
Yay.
Have you? How's your day been, Maggie?
It's good. Yeah, I've been busy. We got a whole FBA box out the door, so I felt like I accomplished something.
Yay.
Good.
I'm gonna turn my YouTube on. Let's see.
Hey guys.
Hey, Tara.
Hey, Tara.
Again.
How are you guys?
Good.
What are we talking about tonight?
What is?
What is?
What is?
Yeah.
I see the title's just let's talk about it.
What
Let's
it
talk
is.
about what?
What is?
Tonight's top is what is. Curious? This could go
Well,
all kinds of directions.
We're just going to talk about a bunch of different what is.
What is
Okay.
Craig, I sent you a link if you wanted to come in.
Tara
Well,
used to saying what is.
What is this? Is that a
What is
Southern
this?
term?
And I was
What is?
going to tell Tara something, and I forgot what it was.
That must be a Southern thing, huh? What is this?
Yeah.
What is this?
Usually you only speak it to other Southerners so they know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay. Is it like yeah, hey, or what?
It's like
Yeah,
y'all.
but okay, what we're gonna just talk about is just some various questions here. Just kind of have a little fun and find out about each other. And here's my little list here. So
Hey, Nikki.
we will.
You hate it?
You're supposed to do your thumb up. Your thumbs up.
Hey, Texas Valley.
Oh, hey, Nikki. So my first question is for you guys is what is your favorite part about reselling?
The shopping, duh.
I don't have to be micromanaged.
I can wear my PJs and no bra.
The freedom. If I have to go somewhere in the week, I don't have to ask for off. I can work my own hours,
I like the cha-ching.
Yeah.
Yeah. Owning my own time. That's good.
Yep.
That's some good answers.
I also like when you get like a nice feedback or review from a customer. not just like, item is described or whatever, but like, especially like on Etsy, I've gotten some really nice reviews of people buying vintage items that they have lost over the years, and I happen to have it, and how much it means to them that they were able to get it again.
Right.
Yeah, the stories are fun.
Mm-hmm.
True 72 said owning my own time.
Yeah, I have to agree with that.
Yeah. If you want to go on vacation, you can go. You don't have to have set vacation from a job. If you have to go do something during the day, you're your own boss. You can,
Yeah.
manage your own time. You're not set down to working certain hours for somebody else.
I mean, when I was working, if I needed to take a sick day, I needed to call in to a certain phone number
Mm-hmm.
and let them know I was taking a sick day. And then if I went, say, I was only allowed to go to the doctor or to the drugstore. So if I went to the doctor, I had to call the hotline, tell them where I was going, the address of my doctor, and what time I would be back. And then when I got back, I had to call the hotline and let them know I was back at home. And at any time they could come, they could check on me, they could drive it to my house and knock on my door. I mean,
Wow.
that's the kind of thing I needed. Like,
What did you do?
what do you mean, what did I do?
Were you
What
like,
do you-
FBI?
Were you the senior vice president of a major corporation or
I
something?
think she's FBI under cover.
No,
I told you she was an FBI
During the reselling community.
person.
That's what she's doing. She's a jewelry spy coming over to infiltrate the other resellers.
Actually, she looks more like the CIA type. She comes in there and
that was just the sick leave policy. It was just, yeah.
Wow.
But it's in a case like what we were just talking about with Kathy and lupus and my wife Roberta with her liver transplant.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way a company is going to let as much time as I needed to be with Roberta.
No.
Because she, I had to take care of her. She was out, and Marcel, when you're having your spells, he's working, but he's close by. And you're not worried about losing the job because this flares up.
All right.
So, it's, and people, especially young people that don't have kids, that are hoping to have kids sometime, and I think everybody here is old people in this group.
Speak for yourself.
Well, when I say old people, I mean they've been around a little bit.
You're at a block once or twice.
Yeah, you've been rode hard and put up wet.
Yeah. They don't realize.
Again,
they don't
Tara,
realize
speak
how
for
much a
yourself.
hassle it is. They don't realize how much of a hassle it is when you've got a little kid, or even a school age kid.
Yeah.
And they got to be home from school, or the damn weather. We might get 6 inches of snow tomorrow, and so they call in school already. That type of thing. So they got to call and say, "Hey, school's out. I don't have any way to keep my kids.
Yeah.
I have nobody to keep my kids." And then it doesn't snow, and school's out, and you still got your kid, and you're still having to miss work, and your boss or your supervisor still hacked off.
Yeah.
So. A chick picker. She says, "I beg your pardon, Tom."
See, I have a guilty call. If I call out, I feel guilty. So that was always my problem. I would go in sick because I felt guilty because I felt like I was doing something. I mean, I was damn near dead up at the bank, and I literally went in. I mean, I couldn't walk. I should have been in the car driving. I mean, I was hunched over, like barely driving, and I barely got out of the truck. And they sent me home because I'm in tears. But I'm going to go to work. And that's the bad thing. But see, and to be honest, what I like about reselling really is because I make my own destiny. I'm either going to make money or I'm not. And I'm the only one to blame or to be, glad about it because I did that for me, and no one has that control over me anymore. And I think that's what I like about it. But in all honesty, I'm one of those guilty call out people.
There's this guy that works for the auction now, and he was with the company for like 12 years or something like that.
Mhm.
And he ended up with diverticulitis really, really bad. He was actually on his deathbed. I mean, they didn't know if he was going to make it. It was so bad. And, which usually diverticulitis isn't that dangerous, but apparently he was really bad. Anyways, he was out of work for like 3 weeks, I think, or something like that, before they got it under control. And then he went in to talk to his boss, and he showed up one day and he thought, well, I can go back, part-time, because he was just an accountant. So he didn't actually have to do any physical labor or anything. Anyways, he went back and was going to talk to his boss about coming back light duty, or part-time or whatever, just a few hours a day and easing into it. And his boss is like, what are you doing here? And he even had a company car. And his boss is like, what are you doing here? You don't work here anymore. And leave your car behind when you go. And that was, after what was 10, 12 years, he worked for the company,
Wow.
Yeah. Just like that. Because he was sick.
Well, it used to be people work for the same company for years and years and years.
Mhm.
And now, shh. And now,
Shush her. How dare you, shush Princess?
she's walking around with a Ziploc bag in her mouth.
You better get that baby.
And now, about every 3 to 4 years, people are moving up. I mean, they're leaving their jobs and going up because companies are not. They can go someplace else and immediately make more money.
Yeah.
And so there's no loyalty on either side of them. Now, in the case of my son, who's going to be working for the hospital, they always have, I keep telling him, if you're going to, you do what you're supposed to, don't screw up, you'll always have a job. And you won't have to go anyplace else because they give good raises every year. And of course, they have good benefits. And stick your fingers in your ears, Kathy. They have good medical benefits.
You said that was a hospital, right?
Yeah, the hospital.
Well, they better have good medical.
Yeah.
Dark Dragon, are you in Australia? Oh, okay. Down under. Cool. So, to me, that flexibility in any business that you have, that you can control your own time. That's what makes a difference. The next question is, what's your least favorite part?
We actually have to still work.
You
really have to work hard at it.
So you unloading trucks from storage units that are unloading tubs, clawfoot tubs, freaking tubs.
Well, yeah, a little bit of work.
That's what I hate.
Yeah, that is still hard work.
That thing is freaking.
Be nice if it was easy money.
Well, that's like when Dusty bought that dentist chair.
Oh my God!
I think Tristan should have taken some extra insurance money out on him.
Yeah.
Him unloading that thing out of the back of the truck, or loading it in the back of the truck and unloading it in the back of the truck. Just about killed him. So how about you, Nikki? What's your least favorite thing?
Me?
Yeah.
I said that you have to work so damn hard.
I didn't hear you.
Be nice if it was easy money. And yeah, the loading and unloading, that's kind of a pain, especially now. But and my least favorite probably is the complaints I get from my family.
How about you, Miss Maggie?
Oh, taking pictures.
Yeah, taking pictures.
Hate it, hate it. I could just pay somebody to take my pictures and yeah. And it's probably my own fault. I'm probably too picky about them. I fuss with them too much. But yeah.
Are you one of the ones that use the background remover and all that kind of stuff?
No, but I worry about the lighting, and then I use an app to lighten them, and then I have to crop them a certain way, and I hate that they have to be square for Poshmark, and I never have figured out how to take a good picture for Etsy. Yeah, just in general, just yeah, the pictures.
How about you, Tara?
Well, that was a good question because I had it took me a long time to sit and think of something I don't like to do. Actually, I really do like all of it. I guess I had to think of something I really dislike. It would be like when Jim is getting all hyper and I got to like help him ship and pull stuff because he's like this crazy raccoon and he's all hyper about stuff. And he starts like swearing and I'm just like, he just drives me nuts when he does that. But so I guess that would be like one of my least favorite things. But like the buying it, sourcing it, unloading it, listing it, none of that stuff. I mean, I like it.
Yeah.
I mean, where else can you go have a job where you go buy a bunch of junk and sell it for money? I mean, it is kind of amazing when you think about it.
Yeah.
When a bathtub weighs 10,000 tons and you have a bad back.
Yeah.
That bathtub, I'm never going to get over that bathtub.
Obviously.
Oh boy. Did you sell it yet?
No, I haven't even freaking posted it yet.
Oh boy.
You in that damn bathtub, I typed, "Hey, Bath." Hey, Bath.
You need to come out and hang out with. You need to come up and hang out with Jim for about 2 months, and then you'll really have something to complain about moving heavy stuff.
Somebody's going to end up in the shed, and it ain't going to be me. Like, oh, look, you got to stay out there. I can't do with you today. He'd probably like it, though. He'd be like, I'm tired of you, too. I'm leaving.
I didn't mind the loading and unloading when I didn't have arthritis. But now that I have arthritis, the loading and unloading and stuff, that really bothers me.
Yeah.
Everything, when you have arthritis, arthritis makes everything difficult.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say like 10 years ago, if you said, you're going to be selling online and that's what you're going to do for a living, or maybe 12 years ago, I'd have been like, you're crazy. I'll never be doing that, whatever. And it just kind of evolved into it. But I mean, it is really, in a way, it is kind of amazing that you can make a living selling this stuff on the internet.
Yeah.
And the sky's the limit, Like I said earlier, when you work for somebody else, and this is kind of a pro to it, when you work for somebody else, no matter how hard you work, you're still going to make only the same amount of money.
Exactly.
And even if you work overtime, you still can only make so much money. But when you work for yourself, the sky's the limit. You can make as much money as you want.
Yeah.
Yep, as much as
the harder you work, it pays off.
Yep.
The organize, like Mike says, I hate trying to organize everything. I'm constantly organizing.
Yeah.
He fusses at me. You're organizing again? Well, God dang, it's got to get organized to get set foot listed. But it seems like you're constantly doing it.
Organization is everything.
It is.
And people that have told me that they wanted to start selling, I've tried to help them get started selling. I tell them, go get them some boxes.
Yeah.
And put box number on them. So you'll make sure that you know which box it was and what it is.
You know that it's a box. When it says box.
Yeah.
It's not.
And from the get-go, when you list stuff, put it in that box. So you will always know what it is. And what, the other night when we were talking about storage lockers, you got to go. It's the same thing. You got to go into it being organized or have some kind of organization plan. If not, you will find yourself neck deep in crap.
Yeah.
I remember when I first started, like really, really selling, and with a really big inventory. And once I got past like 150 to 200 listings, I had no clue where anything was anymore.
Right.
It was easy to remember everything in your head up until you got to almost 200 listings. Then it was like, all right, where did that go? So my advice is to be organized right away, right from the get-go.
Oh, yeah.
because
Yeah.
once you get up past over 100, 200 listings, it's really hard to get yourself organized because it's just so time consuming to do it.
Yeah, that's
So
my
might
problem.
as well do it right from the start.
Yep.
Kid Steele Moore says, as a single person or as a single eBayer, she feels like she's reached the point where she can't really make more money because she just don't have enough time to. And I'm going to read this into what she said. She don't have enough time to do all the listing and all the shipping and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that happens.
And I'm gonna quote one of my favorite eBayers, and that's Dusty, the Alabama picker. He says, when you reach the point where you can't list, you just can't keep up, or you can't list more items, then you need to think about boosting up the price of what your items are.
Yep. What your average item is.
My next point was what's your favorite item to sell?
What's my favorite item to sell?
Or type of items?
I would say probably car parts and tractor parts and stuff. That's what I get the most money out of. But I enjoy the antiques and collectibles.
I like government liquidation.
Do what?
I like government auctions, like when I can come in with a bunch of like recessa handies or training arms or nursing stuff. But I mean, I may be like where I live now, I run into that like once a year. So, I mean, we do a lot of outboard motor stuff. We try to. But I like if I could just hit a good auction that's got a good variety of antiques and collectibles, and I like them to be on site. I can't say like a specific thing. It's just I like that on site digging it out kind of auction because I always do really good there. And I can't say like, oh, well, this is an item I want.
Yeah.
That's a hard thing to say. I mean, I had a really good deal. We had our local county I live in was running their own auction site. They went over to Wisconsin Surplus now, and now the stuff's going so high, it's not touchable. But I had a real good deal because nobody knew about it, and I was buying a lot of like government computers, cop car computers, all these memories and stuff, and I made like thousands of dollars off of it. And I really miss those auctions because I was making a lot of money, but when it went to Wisconsin Surplus, it just goes too high. It just goes too close to its value. I miss that. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Well, let me rephrase that item. Out of all the items in the world, other than Lamborghinis and Rolls Royces, gold watches, that kind of stuff, what kind of items would you prefer to sell if you could buy it by the truckloads or whatever?
Antique.
Do what?
Antique.
Antiques.
Do I have to like give a specific antique? I don't know. I like it. I like antiques. I'm a little bit of an antique person. I like to keep stuff. I don't keep it too much anymore, but just that kind of stuff. I just really like it.
Well, you said that's the reason you married Jim is because you like old things.
I have to agree with Tara, but we run our businesses a lot of the same. We go to auctions and stuff like that. And yeah, antiques and collectibles are my most favorite, but I probably make the most money on like parts, car parts and tractor parts and stuff like that. Unless I get a really, really good thing, but I think I make most of my money on that kind of stuff. So I'd have to say, gun to my head, if I could only sell one thing, it would be that car parts.
Like there's an item I love to get, and I get them a lot at like, and Nikki's gonna know what I'm talking about. I get them a lot at what I call farm agricultural auctions, like these antique drill presses that you put on the wall. They're hand cranks. I sent a whole bunch of them south because I bought them this fall, but because we're moving, we are not set up to crate them. I mean, I love those things. I mean, those post leg vices, all that kind of old blacksmith equipment. I mean, I love it if I find that stuff at an auction, at a farm auction. that stuff really I'm like, oh, good. I know what that's worth, or I know what that's worth. So I like that kind of like old blacksmith type tools, cast iron stuff. Anyway, I don't do very much glassware. I don't sell Crocs. They're too hard to ship. But I like that kind of stuff. I can ship without it getting broke.
How about you,
And the genre, I'd have to say, is just man stuff.
man?
I mean, man stuff sells really good. You know, that's where you get into the parts and the drill presses and all that, tools and all that. That all stuff, all that stuff sells for so much money, and it sells fast. Even at flea markets, when I go to the flea market, you know.
I like architectural
too.
salvage because I like it too, and so I like selling it because it's just something that's kind of enjoyable to sell.
An old lighting, I enjoy that too.
What did you say?
Old lighting.
Old ladies. I thought you said old ladies.
Nikki?
I thought you said old ladies. I'm thinking, damn, is there a market for that?
Yeah, I sell old ladies all the time.
I was saying, are you smelling toast?
How about
No,
you?
I like old lighting.
How about you, Deb?
I like the jewelry still. I like selling the jewelry because it's really, I don't have room for like car parts and
Yeah.
the antiques. Or like, I also like doing like the vintage smalls. I like the postcards. They're easy to ship, the postcards, the photos, the vintage photos.
And Miss Maggie?
So, as you probably aren't surprised to hear that books are my favorite things.
Oh, really?
Surprise! But what I really love to sell is old, like not even the old. People write self-published books all the time about local places. So, and people don't really look for booksellers. Don't look for them. Booksellers are so busy scanning and those barcodes. And you can find books that people wrote about local areas or local families or that kind of thing. And people will pick big bucks for them. Genealogists, people just look at the local history.
Yeah.
So that's really my favorite, to find those kinds of things. Oh, you know what I saw? A lot of his old alumni directories and old phone books and old business directories and stuff like that.
That still goes with the genealogy stuff.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Considering so many people are starting to do that these days too, kind of. I told you we should have taken those things from Greenville, Mississippi. We could have sold those suckers.
Yeah, any of those books that are like a town history, I mean, I always pick those up.
Yeah.
Because the big thing right now is the DNA stuff. So people wanting to know what their ancestors are and, what town they lived in.
Who was it that bought the DNA testing kits? It was in a lot of stuff.
Me?
That was
From
you.
Shopko? Yeah.
With the man and the baby on the front of it, was that you?
Yeah, because we made fun of it.
I knew somebody. I watched so many videos that I can't remember. High blood. I can't remember who has bought what. So let's go to the flip side. Did I get you, Kathy, about what your favorite is?
We really don't have a favorite. I mean,
Music equipment. I like selling that.
he likes selling music equipment. I mean, if it was me, honestly, I don't have. I mean, I like everything. I like the antiques because it intrigues me because it's history, and I like seeing it. That if anything, I'd say the antiques. I'd say the older stuff for me. Music equipment does really great for us. Vintage music equipment, but I mean, mine is. I'm just everywhere. I mean, I like selling everything. I mean, it doesn't. There's nothing one thing in particular. I don't like glassware unless it's worth some money. I mean, I'm like Tara. It's not worth my time. If I'm gonna make $2 on it, I don't want to do it. But.
Yeah, if it was glassware that's worth something, I don't like to broad brush lump all glassware in there.
Right.
Obviously, there is glassware out, but a lot of the glassware I run across is just not worth me messing with.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have run across a lot of that.
Yeah, we've ran across. But I've noticed that the health and beauty, there's an anti wrinkle cream. I posted in here. I had bought some back. God, it had to be about 10, 12 years ago. And I was gonna just throw it out because we were about to move. I looked it up. I got somebody bought it for $175 freaking dollars.
Huh.
I don't even know what. I think I paid about $30. It's when you buy one. It's those auto renewal prescription things. You know, the prescription things that they did back in the day.
Right.
There's an Avon one that's an anti-renewal. That I mean, we got $80 on, 50, 60, $80 on. Those are good flips because every woman's out there looking for that miracle cream. So if I had to pick one, like Nikki said, gun to the head, give me some anti-wrinkle cream that has that acid stuff in there. What is it? Whatever. That acid crap that's supposed to suck in everything. I will take that over every day, but I like everything. I don't care. I'll sell a toilet if you want me to. I got a bathtub. You want it?
Well, that brings you to the flip side. What is the least favorite thing that you like to sell? And we're going to start off with Kathy.
That tub.
That tub. That's a tub. I ain't picking them. No, I don't like. I mean, I don't like glassware. I hate glassware. I hate it with a passion. I hate it with everything that it's worth. I hate China. Oh my God. If I never see another China plate in my lifetime, I would be the happiest person in the damn world. I hate China. I'm donating a box full of China. I'm sick of it.
And she's talking about dishes.
Dishes, yeah, China dishes.
Because we have to be careful because of this other channel they have. We have to, I'm sure they're being monitored now every place they go.
Yeah, I'm gonna shatter them. I'm gonna use them as target practice. The China dishes. My best China is paper plate. So yeah, I don't hate China.
Well, you don't have to wash them.
I know, right? But that's not worse. I hate the China dishes, glassware, unless it's worth one.
How about you, Tara?
Something I'm listing right now, a bunch of RA stuff. I hate listing that kind of stuff. Like all these like these small these CDs I bought. I mean, they're just, to me, it's very boring, tedious stuff to list.
Yeah.
It's nice because it's multiple quantities, so you have one listing and you'll have 8 or 9 items in that listing for sale, but it's not something that excites me. Like, oh, great, I'm listing a bunch of brand new stuff from the store. Anyway.
Right. How about you, Deb?
I have to agree with Kathy. The breakables. It took me a long time just to ship a coffee cup. I'm just afraid of it breaking. It doesn't matter how good I pack it. I just don't like doing the breakables.
At one time, I got a bunch of China was giving to me, China dishware, and I was going up to see Vanya at NC State, and I went by replenishments and dropped it all off of there. And I probably only got 25% of what it's worth, but I still got like $1,000. But guess what?
Wow.
I dropped it off, and in about a week, I got a check in the mail. So,
wow,
I'm with y'all. And you see all these people, especially the older videos, where they're talking about how to ship a coffee mug, and they put a bunch of bubble wrap around it and stick it in a padded envelope. And then there's one guy that throws it down a stair or rolls it down the stairs, and my skin crawls every time I think about it. Because to me, it would be a million pieces time it got to the bottom of the stairs.
I've been shipping coffee mugs in a flat rate envelope before it was popular, and I've never stopped shipping it in a flat rate envelope.
Do you just stick bubble wrap around it and send another one?
No, I put bubble wrap around it and I put cardboard around it.
Okay.
And then I put it. And I started doing that before the FOMO method was the FOMO method.
What I do is I get a 6x4x4 box. I wrap the coffee mug in the bubble wrap, put it in the box, and then put it in the flat rate bubble mailer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The least, the thing I like listing the least is selling is clothing. I'm sure y'all know that.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
Clothing is like my nemesis, but I've been buying it and listing it, and
Yep, me too.
it's really slow moving for me. But
The thing that's you can get the most of relatively cheaply, and everybody hates to.
not really. I mean, I can get. I mean, I went and spent $45 on the last load of clothing I bought. Not the last one, but the one before that. I spent like $45, and I got I think 7 bags of clothing or whatever. But really and truly, I could have went and took that $45 to an auction and got over a truckload, maybe even a trailer load too, of good quality stuff that probably would have moved faster than that damn clothing did.
Yeah.
Hey, Nikki, what does FOMO stand for?
I don't know. It was just called. I don't know. They all started saying the
That when they
FOMO
all
method. I
started
don't know.
calling it. I kind of forgot they were calling it that, the FOMO method.
Yeah, because it was some guy. I think it was some guy or something.
I think it was Jason Smith.
No,
Yeah.
I think it was before Jason Smith. There was some guy that started doing it, and I was like, man, I should have made a video about that. That's the way I do it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what his name was, but I think it has something to do with his name.
I was
But
about to
anyway.
ask you Nick, if you had a video on.
Well, I never did make a video after that because after that came out because I didn't want anybody to think I was copying somebody.
I saw that. There is one thing I do now. I wish I wouldn't have said RA because I really hate listing coffee mugs.
Really? Oh, I love doing coffee. I love coffee mugs. I think coffee mugs are so much fun. I just like looking at coffee mugs.
And they get hard to find ones that are like worth north of $20, and then I'm like, why am I messing with this stupid coffee mug?
Yeah.
Yeah. And normally, I mean, I still sell coffee mugs occasionally, and Bibles. Those are two things that I'll probably always sell. Bibles always move for me, usually around the big religious holidays like Easter and Christmas. Otherwise, they pretty much stay in my store. But otherwise, like coffee mugs, if I find some good, unique ones, then I pick them up. But otherwise, I don't. They're not all created equal.
No, I try to pick them up like if they're like something you bought at Disney World, like something that was Disney store branded, like you bought it at the park or something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Even some of those are only like in that 2024 range,
Or in some of my box lots at the auction.
No, I will never buy a box lot of coffee mugs.
No, but I mean, if you're buying a box, sometimes you end up with coffee mugs in them.
Yeah.
And if they're special enough,
Jim
I'll
wants
list them.
to do with coffee mugs. He wants to put them in a concrete mixer and make them into an aggregate, pave our driveway.
Somebody
big
give you
steel
thumbs down.
rolls. You get like this heavy metal rollers, like about 4 inches in the diameter, solid steel, and they roll fast. You can't stop them because of their weight. And then when you throw the mug into it, it sucks it through and just crushes it to pieces. To a gravel size. About a 1-inch gravel size, and you can pave driveways with them.
You know how
especially religious mugs.
Okay, that's
nice.
Well, I'm not got nothing against religion, but on mugs it's stupid.
God, like how some sellers like crab about, I don't know why you sell clothing. That's how we feel about coffee mugs. I'm not saying we're necessarily totally right. It's just our thing.
80% of mugs I ship, the flipping handles break off. So I wind up making nothing on them anyway.
It doesn't matter. I always make it their
well, whatever.
She's like, whatever. I can see you stomping off right now.
Maybe I need to make a video for Jim how to ship a coffee mug.
And you fuss at him when he don't watch it.
No, I think you know what I think it is. I think he doesn't do a very good job because see his attitude about coffee mugs. So then when one sells, that's how his attitude is. You know, he's all like, coffee mugs. I hate them. How much do they sell for? How much do this coffee mug sell for? It'll be like $14.99. God dang it, this thing sold $14.99. Anyway.
But you see there's a lot of, if you go in and look at like plates, dinnerware, there's a lot of people that sell a lot of that stuff that are not a big company like Replenishment or
Replacement.
You got to have a good brand. You got to have a desirable brand and a desirable line in that brand, It just depends what it is.
My thing was you got to be confident in your packing abilities for stuff.
I mean, we've sold a lot of Fiesta ware, sold a lot of Fire King, like the tulip bowl set and stuff like that. Which one of those bowls didn't make it? But
that was early on.
That was early on. We were amateurs then.
About 4 years ago, 3-4 years ago, when glassware was hot and dishes were hot, I used to sell a ton of that stuff, shipped it all over the world, no problem. And like my light shades, I mean, some of my light shades are very, very thin, fine glass. And yeah, I ship them all to Australia. A lot of Australians buy those from me. Those really thin light shades. And I ship them all over the place, no problem at all.
Yeah.
Tara, did you say what Karen said?
What?
No,
she said tell Tara to forget the selling on eBay. Instead, Trump Tara ticket to.
Yeah, there's too much in my history. When they would check my education, like try to check Trump, they'd be like, "No way, get her out of here."
I know, right?
Dig up on me.
Losing together.
Too much stuff to dig up on me there. I made some mistakes when I was young.
Yeah.
I told that story about the mugs though. How I'd like to make a machine that crushes the mugs. Me and my mother were in a thrift store in Florida.
Oh, when you were just down there?
No, this was a couple years ago.
I thought it was when
No, it was the time when I bought all those stereos.
Well, whatever.
So we're in this Florida thrift store. Tara's there, my dad's there too, but Tara's off talking to my dad. So my mom picks up this mug. She knows I'm sourcing stuff. She picks up this mug and it was something like "I love Jesus" mug or whatever. And I've got nothing against. I'm a Christian. I have nothing against Christianity. She holds up this mug and she goes, "Oh, this would be something good you could resell. Don't you think it's nice?" And then I told my mom the story about how I'd like to crush all the mugs. She actually, her eyes started watering. I made her feel bad, so bad she started to cry.
No. You're cruel.
So I had to, half the time I'm there, I had to quit what I was doing and apologize up and down to my mom.
How about you, Maggie? Did we get an answer out of you? What do you least like to sell?
I guess anything breakable, because I'm just such a chicken. I don't like selling electronics, although I know there's money in them. Anything that might that I can't absolutely guarantee that it's, you know what I mean? Like anything I can't test, or I'm just a worrier. If I ship something breakable, then I worry till it gets there and
so you get feedback.
Yeah. And probably because I've never had a negative or neutral feedback on eBay, and I like to read the day that I finally get one.
I just shipped 7 pieces of stoneware over to Great Britain.
Wow.
Didn't have no problems. Bakeware and bowls and mixing bowls and.
Yeah,
my thing with that is it's got to be worth money. If I'm going to sell something that takes the extra packing of a large mixing bowl or something, she better be north of $50. Because I don't want to put that kind of work into selling something that's going to be in that 15 to 22 range. Then it's like, because by the time you put the work into packing, so it better be something that's got some value.
I sold it all for $150 plus shipping.
It's mostly for me. I don't like to broad brush it. There's stuff out there that's obviously worth money. I'm just saying in the run of the mill stuff, I just try not to grab it.
Yeah.
Especially if it's breakable.
But I agree. I don't agree with buying stuff that you're only gonna sell for $5-10. That's breakable.
You're all creeping me out.
I know. That's gonna pull the window down.
What?
It's creeping us all out.
Or they got to crawl up there.
What's the matter?
Anderson goes, oh my God, if someone pops up in Maggie's window, I will scream.
Uh-huh.
What do I do? She's on the second floor.
You probably see my computer screen in the window, I guess. I better stop looking at those porn sites while
That's right. That's right, Maggie.
We caught you, Maggie. Yeah.
Lord have mercy.
In her window.
They'll kill me. What is the next thing? Did I get everybody? I think I got everybody. What is the least profit you will? Okay, let me figure out how to ask this correctly. What is the least profit that you're willing to make off of an item? I mean, and I'm gonna preface this with, you know, you can say one item, or you know, a couple of. I've got 25 of this item. I'm gonna make $2 an item off of them, or you know, I'm okay with that, but I'm not going to list a dozen items, and each one of them is only going to make me a couple of bucks. So, y'all take it from there.
I like to make at least 3 times my money.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I agree too, but I don't do that sometimes.
But sometimes if you get stuff like retail arbitrage or something like that, that's going to turn over fast, and you got multiple quantity, you know, if you're only making, you know, up like $5 or whatever on them, that's okay to me. I don't want to fill my store up with that crap.
Right.
But if I get a good deal on it and it's easy to list because it's multiple quantity, then I don't mind taking a smaller profit. But generally, I don't like to list anything for less than $20. But I will.
Right.
I just won't. I just don't like to fill my store up with that stuff.
Tara?
Well, I would say on a single item, yes, I want at least 3 to 4 times my money. So if it's a $10 investment, I better be able to sell it for no less than 30, and hopefully like 35, 40 north of there. Now, I have a bunch of small stuff because y'all know I just did that ShopGo thing. So what are you going to do? It's small stuff with multiple quantity listings. I mean, some of it's like $5 stuff, but I got it. And either I lot it together so it's in a bigger lot so it's worth more, or I just sit with a multiple quantity listing. That's the thing I don't like about doing RA is, and not that it isn't cool, and some people are really good at it. It's a smaller profit margin than like going to an auction and buying stuff. To me,
Yeah. It's easier to list. I mean, it's faster to list, you know, but
it's not something that really excites me. But yeah,
no, me neither.
But that's what I hear from a lot of people. The going out and scanning does not really excite them. You know, they find it boring after a while.
Yeah.
I actually agree with what Liz just said. She says, depends on how long I have an item. I might break even just to move some things. That's what I do too. Like if I have something I've had for like over a year, I'll make a couple dollars on it and that's it. I just want to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Because you've already spent the time to list it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
We have storage items that are like that because, like, if the storage unit's been paid, that's why we keep a list of them. And if it's been paid off and we're already in the profit a good amount, we'll go ahead and start taking offers and moving some stuff. We may not make but $4 or $5 off the item, but we've already made our profit on the end before other stuff. It's just trying to get it out, move it, and get it out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like Nick, if it's not 3 times the amount, then it goes to a yard sale. And we have a yard sale pile that we do that with, and it just you have to think about what's your time, because it's a lot of times 1, research, 2, photos, test or whatever, and you have to figure it that way too. But ours is the same way, 3 times.
Yeah, and actually, to tell you the truth, I mean, I like it to be north of 3 times if I'm buying a single item. Just because if you figured out, we used to say, like a third for you, a third for the item, and then the
Yeah.
other third is your eBay cost. But with the cost of everything going up, it seems like it's got to be a little better than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And me too. I like it more than 3 times my profit. I mean, like my husband, he's like, God, you don't always have to make like 2,000 times your 2,000 times your profit, and it's like, well, I like it when that kind of stuff happens,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, when I'm looking at items, yeah, that's the lowest I'm looking at is at least 3 times my profit. But yeah, I like it more. And generally, I mean, I pay so little for my stuff that generally I am making like 1,000, 2,000 times my profit because I just pay so little for my
Bless
stuff.
you, Tom.
Bless
Yeah.
you, Tom.
Excuse me.
And I think that's how you have to do it. I mean, it's just more of managing it. That way you make that profit. I mean, because on that one locker that I didn't want him to get, that tool chest, and we took an offer, and it was a decent offer, but we had already made over $1,500 on that storage locker. So it was like I took an offer little less than what I wanted, but it was sitting there. I just needed to get it out of it, and it was still a profit to me because what we paid for it. So I mean, it's just, you have to look at it, I guess, at all angles, depending on how you buy. Do you buy singly, or do you buy like we do storage lockers, or do you buy like auctions like y'all buy abundance at auctions? So,
Yeah, well, that's the thing with an auction. You'll have single stuff they throw up, and then you'll have stuff in boxes that gets thrown up.
yeah,
Now, if it's a single stuff and it's worth money, and for whatever reason it's just not going that, yeah, I want to buy that. But if it's like an item that sells for $100, I mean, I sure don't want to be in. I don't really like to be into it for like north of 40. I mean, you might get me to go to 45 just to do it. I mean, but when it starts only doubling my profit, it seems like it gets tighter by the time I put the time into it. Everything.
Yeah.
I agree with you on that one. Thanks, Joanne.
And also, when you go into it thinking you're going to make 3 times your profit, sometimes you only double your money, but then that's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, by the time you sell it, yeah, it may only be worth like double times your money. But
Yeah, Nikki, that's a good point. But if you go in and you only buy it, if you just double your money and you make a mistake, you may wind up breaking even or worse, not making anything. So you're right. I mean, at least 3 times, at a minimum of 3 times your money, at least you put a little cushion in there for a mistake.
yeah. But yeah, when I'm buying something, I mean, I generally am buying it for way more than 3 times my profit to make more than 3 times. But like I said, the least I want to make on it is 3 times. But sometimes we all know that we have to lower our prices or whatever, and yeah, we only end up doubling our money.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. I'm in the South, and my allergies are going crazy today.
We understand.
I know y'all don't have it. Honestly.
Oh,
bless you.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
We had so much pollen on our ground from poplar trees.
Poplar trees.
There I am being a pain in Tom's ass again, right?
Yeah, it's been really bad here too.
Our ground was wider from the pollen. Then Nikki showed her that picture of the snow that she got last night or night before last. Sorry, I'm trying not to sneeze.
Not hard. You do on Saturday.
Have you ever considered? Have you considered hiring an employee?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
And why?
Because
So I don't have to do it all.
Exactly.
Actually, I would most like an employee, like a laborer, somebody that can go to the auction with me and load my truck. I mean, other than Gary, it would be nice to have one when I go by myself, especially right now with the pain in my hands. I mean, the guys at the auction usually help me out if I need it. It has to be a pretty bad day for me to ask them for help, but anybody at the auction would help me. I mean, they've known me since birth, so most of them. But yeah, I've thought of having like a laborer that would go to auctions with me and like load my
load my truck and come back and unload it. And that would be nice to have.
Yeah.
I would like to hire like a virtual assistant to like share my closet and just so I can work on other stuff. Because I put my Poshmark closet on vacation, and I've been deleting stuff on or deactivating stuff on Macari. I just can't do all of it by myself.
Yeah. I have hired, like, my niece sometimes wants to earn some extra money so she can do something or whatever. I have hired her to do listing and stuff for me before, but just a temporary thing, you know. She doesn't want to do it all the time, and I don't want to relinquish control either too much either, you know.
Yeah, that's
I don't want somebody in my business. Like my niece, she's not gonna like try to take over everything. She's not gonna do something I don't want her to do. You know, she does it exactly the way I want it done. I approve it before it goes live, you know, that kind of stuff. So that's fine because she's family. But yeah, anybody outside, I don't think I would hire to do my listing and stuff because you're just training your competition, first of all.
Yeah.
He is my other partner, so
Yeah, no.
it's us.
I'm not a good boss. I'm not good at assigning like a task for you to do. And the other thing is you're not going to do it exactly the way I like it. So I'm
Yeah.
like, I could spend this time checking your work, or I could just do it myself and it would get done faster and I don't have to like deal with it. And I don't mean that in like a mean way. I know my weakness. I'm not a good boss.
Yeah.
I'm just not very good at assigning you a task, and I would be paying you for a job that I would just be pretty much doing. So I'm not good at that.
There's another aspect though, is it's I know people talk about taxes, you know, oh, I get a CPA because I'm worried about my taxes. Well, if you want to worry about making a mistake in business, employees are a great place to get your ass in trouble.
Yeah.
You know, if they're working for cash, then you have a falling out and they leave and they go to unemployment and they say, where were you working last? I was working for Susan. I was doing things she sells online. Well, did she take deductions? No, she just paid me cash. You're going to get a knock on the door from wage an hour. They're going to know why you're having, you know, and there's, you know, insurance issues if the person gets, you know, if you send them to go get some stuff from the store and they pile up their car, you know, while they're on the clock, you know, there's, or they fall down in your house or something like that. They fall down your steps or something. I mean, you have insurance issues because actually that's workman's comp. That's not covered by your homeowners. That's a different, if you're using your home as a place of business, they hurt themselves on the job. So, I mean, there's a lot of...
and I know they got these VAs now, which I guess would be... But I don't know. Most of those are, like, in Tibet or India. And, I mean, I'm just a simple country girl. I'm not going to, like, be talking to... having a Google Hangout with somebody far away and telling them what to do. And then, again, I have to go back to checking their work and checking their drafts. It'd be just faster if I just do it myself and I didn't have to deal with anybody else.
I don't understand how the virtual assistants do it, though. I mean, do you have to take the pictures and send it to them?
I guess, unless
you know, I mean, if you're taking the pictures and stuff and writing shit down, you might as well just list it yourself. I don't understand the virtual assistant.
I would assume that would work for somebody more that's like, let's say they're doing a brand new product with stock photos and not having individual photos. I would assume. I know nothing about them. But
wasn't that one? What was her name? That was Suzanne. Somebody. She had that thing where you could hire somebody, and I think you had to take the pictures and send it in with the measurements, and they would list it for you and do everything else. But you had to do I mean, you're doing 90% of the work, so why?
Yeah. So you might as well do it yourself.
But are they just doing it a draft and then you're making the listing live? I mean, are you giving them that kind of access to your account? I don't know. How would you limit your access to your account? You know, it sounds to me like they'd be just doing drafts, I would assume, and then you would be making the thing live.
And
I don't see how that would pay off.
I think this is good. I don't want this to sound. I think sometimes, like, oh, I'm hiring a virtual assistant. It's like a way to validate or make yourself sound like a big shot. Anyway, I'm probably gonna get paid. But you guys like, I need to hire somebody. You know.
Yeah. I mean, I can see like Deb's point, having them like share your closet and stuff because you've already done the work and now they're doing the other work for you. I could understand that. But yeah, to do actually listing and stuff, I mean, like when I've had my niece do it or whatever, I mean, I've just brought the stuff to her and she did it all, you know.
Yeah.
I just kind of and now that she knows what she's doing, I don't have to really look at it, you know, really that much. And like I said, that's so far and few between that I have her do it. It's just when she needs some extra money or whatever, you know, I've had her do it. Just to help her out, pretty much, not to help me out. It was pretty much just to help her out, you know, kind of spread the wealth kind of thing, you know.
I think the reason you look for assistance or hiring people is to free up time. And my opinion is, if you want to free up time, source better.
Yeah.
Acquire things are going to sell faster. Acquire things are don't take a lot of work to ship. You know, if you want to reduce the amount of time you're spending on the business, reduce the time you're spending packing stuff. Get things that'll sell, that'll give you a higher margin, so you get more profit out of less products. So you're not instead of handling and shipping 100 things, you're making the same money off handling and packing 10 things. You know, I think if you want to scale your business that way, I think you're better. If for what we do, I think you're better off doing that than bringing in people at an hourly wage. And you know, in my personal opinion.
Well, you know, I've mentioned one time before, I was talking to a friend. He's like, you know, if you found if you sold 100 things for $100 profit, that's $10,000 a month. That's some good money. Yeah. I said, and I told him, I said, yeah, but the hard part is finding the 100 things that you can sell for $100 profit.
Yeah.
To make that $10,000.
Right.
Because they're not
going to sell that fast.
There's not that many things out there that, unless you've got big pockets, where you can go to like a restaurant auction and buy 20 grand worth of equipment to sell. Otherwise, most people don't have that kind of capital to go out. Well, I mean, Jim and Tara do, but
Well, no, we don't do it with a lot of capital. But I'll tell you this, Tom. What you're better off doing, rather than going to one auction and trying to make your nut on one auction, you go to several. What you're doing is you're sifting through. You're separating the wheat from the chaff. You want to find those handful of items that are going to make you a lot of money, and skip over the stuff that's mediocre. And but in order to do that, I mean, there's always a ton of mediocre stuff and a handful of things that nobody else in the room knows what they're worth. So you're able to get it for the right price. You got to you got to be going to these auctions. You got to be buying these storage units. I hate to say, even thrift stores, you don't make money off a thrift store by going there once every 3 weeks. I stop in a thrift store. I didn't find nothing. You got to hit that thrift store every day, because you don't know when a person's going to donate an item. They have no idea what it's worth. The people that take it in, it's too old to have a barcode. So the people at the thrift store don't know to scan or can't scan it. They have no idea what it is. But you walk in a thrift store with your head full of knowledge, you spot that thing, you're like, oh my God. It's like a Merry Milkman board game. They have no idea what this thing's worth. They're selling for $2. That's the thing. You got to know. You got to have those items in your mental Rolodex to grab it. But the thing is, you got to circulate and percolate. I mean, you got to be out on the street. You can't do it sitting at home. You got to be going to garage sales. You got to be. It's a numbers game. And that's where you could get, like the guy says, the $10,000 a month. Well, that's how you're going to do it, by going everywhere. You got to be everywhere.
Yeah.
Forcing. Sure. But the other thing is, don't load yourself up with stuff you're only going to double your money on, because you're going to be spending so much time handling that product and working on it. You're going to have no time to go out in stores.
Yep.
I agree.
I was going to say something and I totally forgot what I was going to say.
Sorry, Tom.
No, it's not. It's not that. I just have these moments. I should have wrote it down.
Did you take your ginkgo biloba today?
Do what?
Did you take your ginkgo biloba today?
I think that's in my little daily supply of meds. I need to go find my Zyrtec.
If not, I got plenty I can send you.
Are you between you you and your bag full of medicine, and Joanne over here talking about selling 5 pounds of shrooms. You know, I'm like, okay, is the DEA going to be checking us out here now?
It's not the good mushrooms. She's selling some mushrooms you can eat, not the good ones.
It sells morels. You eat those.
If you had to start all over from scratch right now, and all you could take is say $20 and all the knowledge that you have acquired all this years, what would be the first thing that you would do?
Go to an auction.
Yeah.
Buy a storage locker.
And I only got $20. Why do I only got $20?
Well, I'm just throwing a number out there. I'm just throwing a number out there.
Well, I would go to an auction, but can I kike a check for a couple days till I get enough money in the bank to cover it?
That's fine. If you feel comfortable with that, go ahead.
With this day and age, I think I need an allowance increase to $50.
Been there, done that. No, the auctioneer takes about a week to cash the check. So.
Can I do that?
Can you hold this for 2 weeks? I can buy this today.
And I do have an auctioneer that'll do that. He will drive very slowly to the bank. Huh?
What kind of items would y'all be looking for?
It depends on what the auction
Well, if it's
is.
a hot check,
Yeah.
something will roll over fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some quit selling, I can tell you that.
Yeah. It just depends.
I mean, what's some of our quickest, like something that I could say, like right now, like, oh wow. But I mean,
Well, we spent $900 at we had about $400 in the bank.
Oh my god!
And there was a 2-ring auction, and I was in 1 ring, and I talked to Tara about the middle of the day, and she said, "Oh, I haven't spent too much." Well, the second half of the day, better stuff started happening on my end. Well, I'm like, well, if she hasn't spent too much, I'm buying antique dressers for $15 a piece. I'm buying, just tons of antique stuff. I mean, wonderful antiques, and she's on the other end not getting nothing, is what I figure. So I spent about $500. So she spent, I figured, well, we'll make up the $100. We'll figure it out. Well, she comes over. She goes, oh, yeah, I bought all this stuff. I'm like, well, how much did you spend? I don't know, about $400. So we figured out quick math. We got about $900 check. And we got about $400 in the bank.
I'm throwing up out my truck window.
She got sick on the way home. Because I'm like, we'll figure it out. I'll go to the bank or something. We'll figure it out. So she's like, oh, this ain't going to work. So what we did was that next morning, was the flea market.
July 4th weekend. So
Yeah.
it's a bigger tourist.
So we went to the flea market. We got like 3 hours of sleep because we had to set up at like 5 o'clock.
We had to go back down to this place. We bought so much stuff. We didn't get done.
Well, yeah, it took us 2 trips.
We didn't get done hauling
or was
stuff.
It 3?
It might have been 3. We didn't
I think
get
we did
done.
2 with the horse trailer and 1 with the flat trailer.
We didn't get done hauling stuff till like 2:30 in the morning. And I'm like, I'm not even going to go to bed. I just stayed up. Jim's like, I have to go to bed. I go, if I go to bed, I won't get up.
I slept like 2 hours. We had the Coleman lantern set up in the dark. We're setting up on our spot.
Because you got to get up.
We got
like
2 trucks and 2 trailers. We got a 3-horse trailer with a tack room in it. That I don't know how many feet long that thing is. A huge horse trailer and a big flat trailer, an 18-foot flat trailer. And we just start unloading and setting them up on our spots.
Placing it right there.
We took 3 because the people weren't even there to tell them. You're supposed to tell them how many. We just took 3. We started setting up on the 3 spots. Screw everybody else. So we're setting up our stuff, and we made $750 that day. So we more than covered, and we had 4 in the bank already. We were able to cover our thing or whatever. We rolled the dice, and we still had a ton of that stuff left.
Oh, we sold a lot of it on eBay. A lot of antique religious stuff.
I
like
bought
those shrines.
I bought one of those 10-cent bowling machines. Remember with the silver hockey puck?
No, I bought that.
Oh, you bought it. Okay. Well, anyway, we got that auction. One of those. It's a silver hockey puck. It's like a shuffleboard puck that just slide along the wood. It's a long, big machine. It's like, I don't know, 12, 14 feet long. You slide the metal puck down, and the plastic bowling pins flip up. We bought that for It was $10 at that auction for that bowling machine. I mean, that's what the prices were, so we couldn't resist. We had to do it.
Yeah.
It was very stressful, but I mean, yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, you were throwing up on the way home. That's
no, I'm not kidding you. And when I say I'm going to get sick, pull the damn vehicle over. Not go, oh, are you sure? Yeah, I'm sure. Because now I'm rolling the window down, throwing up outside my truck window. And that is why Jim says, we haven't spent enough until Tara throws up.
That was before we did eBay. That's what we were still doing. We were just doing the flea market.
We did it lightly on eBay, I guess.
Yeah, we didn't do eBay heavy until we had the store.
Yeah.
Those auctions with 2 rings those auctions with 2 rings with a couple can really get you into trouble.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Something that auction.
Yeah, but it was like tons of antique key wine clocks, and they're selling for nothing. And I'm like, well, how can I not buy them? Well, I got him over there buying a ton too,
Yeah.
He did let one thing slip, and I'm like, what were you thinking? We're gonna write a hot check. He let one of those big burl oak cylinder desks. You know what I'm talking about? It looks like it has a big hutch on top. It's a cylinder desk. It slides open, and that's your writing desk secretary. It sold for like $65. I'm like, Jim, that was really, really, really dumb.
This was after she told me how deep in trouble we were in. Yeah, okay. Then I heard
Is this after she's wiping the puke off of her face because she's throwing up because she's worried about this $900 hot check?
And I know he's not our DA anymore, but the DA at the time, I knew him and he was a real horse's ass. So it's not somebody I wanted to deal with.
Oh, good time.
And the dirty secrets of a reseller.
Yeah. We're gonna write a couple hot checks. Just make sure you get a way to cover them.
You're gonna that'll be your best seller. Or it could be a made for YouTube TV series.
Yeah.
Well, actually, writing a check you don't have funds for is technically and actually illegal.
This would be bad advice.
Only if you tell everybody on YouTube.
Well, this is years ago now. This is like, and we covered the check. We made enough money to cover the check, but it was for me. It was stressful. I'm not that kind of a risk taker.
Until you had enough money you knew that you could cover that check. You couldn't eat. You just felt sick all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I felt better the next day when I put that money in the bank. And then it was like really stressful. It was really hot. The crazy auction, we had to go down there 3 times. It's like 1:30 in the morning.
Oh,
Jim's arguing with the people across the street. I gotta go to work. You're making too much noise. And Jim's like, I gotta go to work too. And I was like, oh my God.
And why are you out? She says, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I said, why are you walking around in your yard drunk at 2 o'clock in the morning? You got to work so early. They're plastered. I'm like, why are you walking? She goes, I'm going to call the cops. I go, good. You're going to be the one who gets drunk and disorderly, you dummy.
Yeah, so this is what I'm dealing with.
Well, Brandon got in the car and he hit the horn. He was goofy, little kid. He's like 3 years old.
Yeah, he's like 3.
And he pushed on the horn, and these 2 jackasses just came home from the bar, and they're just plastered, looking for a fight.
The lift
we're actually. Well, Tom, it gets better because actually they could have called the cops because the auction people had locked the place up. I went in through a window to get our stuff out because it's inside.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I actually broke in to get our stuff out because I'm like, we got to get this stuff tonight because we got what happens with a bad check? I mean, I need this stuff to sell to cover this check. I can't wait till tomorrow to get the auction people to open it. So we had to get out this night. So I actually broke in. We didn't steal nothing. We only took our own stuff. But yeah. So actually, if they would have called the cops, it would have been tricky explaining.
I've done that before with the electric bill money.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I've written my checks too, but I mean, I have done it with the electric bill money and did the whole hurry up and get it listed so I can make the electric bill.
Electric bill? We've done it with the mortgage money.
Yeah.
We had to pay the electric bill, and there was an estate sale, and I'm like, but we need to take that electric money. It had one of those Johnson 2-horse outboard motors on it, which we sell for like $500. I'm like, we need to go to that estate sale and buy that motor, because then the motor will pay for the electric bill, because it's just tight on money. Yeah, we do that kind of stuff. Yeah. Chewy, come on. Resellers are sketchy.
A little dodgy there, it sounds like. The Dark Dragon says The Dirty Secrets of a Reseller. That's the title of the book.
Yeah, nobody will say that kind of stuff,
There you go. You can rename your show.
The Lift Guy the Lyft guy said your book says turning hot checks into cash.
Well, wait. Now, in my defense, we did make enough money to cover that check, so technically it wasn't a bad check. As long as when I go to the horse auction, he says you don't need the money today, and you don't need the money tomorrow or Monday, but Tuesday you better have that money in the bank.
Well, I'll gladly give you a horse today for money on Tuesday.
It's a risk factor, and you just bring the bank in with you. You know, you're taking a chance, the bank's taking a chance, the auction company's taking a chance, everybody's taking a chance. It evens out.
Yeah. And I've had the auctioneer tell me, I'll hold your check for whatever amount of time, and yeah, they've done it for me. Hey, can you spot me for a week? Yeah, no problem.
Joanna says, she says, tell Tara I hustled all spring and early summer to pay my house insurance and my property taxes.
Yeah.
About $2,500 total. I think about $2,500.
Yeah, we've been there.
Yep. We've all done it.
Yeah, the taxes here were what, $4,000?
$3,500. Yeah. Which isn't a lot. I mean, I guess other people pay a lot more than that, but when you got to make $3,500, it's like
when you're both coming off being unemployed. I mean, both of us pretty much lost our jobs, so all of a sudden we got fined. We started reselling stuff immediately. It was like somebody dropped us out.
Yeah, we didn't plan. I mean, it wasn't like, I really would love to sell on eBay, but maybe I'll quit my job when I get my. No, boom. Cold turkey. You better figure it out or you're going to starve to death. That's how we got.
It's like that we're in an airplane, the light changes colors, and a guy pushes us out of the plane.
Yeah.
By the way, move your feet when you hit the ground.
Yeah.
Stick your head between your ass.
Keep roll and hope you make it. Yeah.
And pray to God.
Mr. Sadie said back in the days it took a few days for the checks to clear. Nowadays it's almost
they're way faster. I would say yes. Now, I say this in jest and joking, and don't take our advice always. Checks come to the bank very fast. So if you don't have the ability to be very secure that you'd have that money in the bank Monday morning, I would suggest not doing it.
Yeah, I agree. Don't do what we say, or don't do what we do.
But
and we could have probably went and borrowed money from like Jim's dad or something, but we figured it out on our own. We were adults and we figured it out on our own.
My dad calls that 911 daddy when I got to call him and ask him to come down and write a check for me because I spent too much. He calls it 911 daddy.
If Todd was in the audience, he would be going, I get those 911 calls too.
Yeah.
Yeah, except we couldn't do that. She forgot. He was in Florida.
Oh, was he gone?
He was gone. That's why I'm like, I have to talk to Tim O'Connor.
That was a mistake.
His dad was out of town for like 2 weeks.
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah, no, you couldn't go to Daddy. No, we were. What's the abbreviation? F?
Yeah, it's fine. I don't ever ask my family for anything.
Oh my God, this used to be a drama thing.
Oh, don't worry.
This night that Jim and Tara admit that they write bad checks and
let me tell you something. If my dad was ever short, he never had no problem saying, "Hey, Jimmy."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your family's the first one to their hand out, but don't.
That one
they ain't got shit. What? Yeah, I do the same thing, Ainsley. I'll do whatever I have to do before I ask any of my family. But
yeah, we don't borrow money, honestly.
No.
I mean, I say that like we could, but I mean, that would be like we've exhausted all other resources and have
all resources. They wouldn't give it money.
Kids deals more said, "Wow, every time you talk taxes, I think I need to move. Damn it, it jumped up on me. If I had your taxes, I'd be rich."
Well, it depends where you live,
She must live out like on the left coast.
When I moved here in 1993, I was like, "Oh my God, I'm living in northern Wisconsin. The property taxes are so cheap." When I was coming off paying like $5,500 a year for our house down there, we moved up here, and at that time up here it was like $1,200 for the year. But then you build stuff and improve it, and you have some property that's sold for a lot of money by us that boosts up our value. And it's like when I go to Kentucky now. I mean, our property taxes down there are like, I think like $700. We're like, wow, that's so cheap.
Wow.
And
That's
when
way
you turn 65, they knock like $40,000 off the value of your house.
Oh wow.
Or
So
they
you-
tax you on 40,000 less.
Less, yeah. Well, their assessed value, they drop it by like 40 grand. That's what
Yeah.
it is. So if you own a $120,000 house, they drop it to 80. If you own an $80,000 house, they drop it to 40. So that's for being over 60. If one of the people who owns one of the people on the deed is over 65, so that's sweet. Or if you're a disabled veteran, or if you're collecting disability.
If you're on Social Security.
Well, you don't have too many more years to wait on Jim to turn 65, do you, Tara?
No, like maybe 11, I think.
I'm so blessed that I'll be turning that magic number. So. Yay for me.
That's nice though. It's nice that there is a state that actually takes care of our older people. That's
Yeah.
nice.
Well, South Carolina used to have, and I don't know whether they still do or not. They used to have a homestead exemption, so you got like $75,000 taken off of your value or the taxes on your property. They would remove $75,000 worth of value out of the taxes, so you wouldn't pay as much. But it was your primary resident.
Yeah.
To then eat your ass up on if it was a secondary.
These are the benefits of marrying an elderly person.
I might have to ask Roberta that tomorrow.
Somewhere.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Well, there's a few benefits to marrying a younger woman.
What?
She can.
I'll let you know when I find her.
Yeah. Good luck.
She'll be able to take care of you when you can't get out of bed.
Y'all want to see something really quick?
Kids Deal says, so I need to move, divorce my husband, and marry a silver-haired man.
Well, if it works.
Well, I give her credit there because I think sometimes the state of California has gone wacko. I don't think I'd want to live there. But
Gone?
Yeah.
I think they passed the gone point.
My neighbor's from California, and he said that he can pay all his house taxes, his vehicle taxes off the price, and still have a few $100s left, just by paying, just off of the taxes he would pay on one of their vehicles.
Oh
in
yeah.
California. And they lived south of Los Angeles.
Hmm.
But he said it's sort of like Atlanta. Atlanta is if you've ever flown over Atlanta looks like it goes on forever. But the city of Atlanta is just a little small area. It's all those little towns that they have absorbed, or the property line, the city lines have kind of disappeared because it's you just continuously moving through residential areas and whatnot. The discrimination against state employees. What is that, Joanna? Freeze to at least seniors can Social Security keep their house, but my dad's pension so high he doesn't get the freeze. So what do they do, Joanna? They have a cap on how much they can charge taxes on seniors up there where you live at. Illinois, that's where Chicago's at, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a big state, though.
It's a huge state.
Yeah.
I thought the whole state was run by crooks.
It is.
Well, Chicago's in the north. That's up there towards Wisconsin.
Yeah, it's right in Crook County.
But the capital's down in Springfield. I was shown in Springfield horses a lot at the Midwest Charity. They got a real cool old fairgrounds there.
Okay. Hey, Mongo, how are you doing tonight? It's a trap. Yeah. Dragon, what part of Australia do you live in? Joanna says, those hillbillies aren't crooks. And I'm south of Chicago, near Springfield.
Oh, now you want that one too? Well, then let me sell the one with the print on.
Victoria. Is that Melbourne?
Mm-hmm.
That's a really pretty area down there. I spent 2 weeks in Australia. We flew into Sydney, then went down to Melbourne, then out to Alice Springs, out to Ayers Rock, and then to Cairns, and then back into Sydney. It was cool. Lovely time. Everybody ought to try. Everybody ought to go out there one time. Well, we saw a lot of boondocks too. That ride from Ayers Rock, Alice Springs to Ayers Rock was out through the middle of freaking nowhere. And it was also during summertime for us, so it was wintertime for them. So like Bondi Beach, where they do all the surfing and stuff like that, was really cold.
I've never left American soil.
I've only ever been to Mexico and Canada.
I was.
So you did.
Yes, once. Yeah. No, I really did that with anyone Canada.
Yeah, I've been to Mexico. Went to Cancun.
I like Australia. I like the people we dealt with down there. They were very nice. It's a great place. So I'm not trying to do any. Yeah, Uluru. That's what Ayers Rock is now. Is Uluru, the Big Red Rock. Anyway, it was like the areas that we traveled in was like from Charleston to Miami. That's the way it was. I mean, that's what it felt like because it's so young, like such a young country. So there's your little travel tip. If you haven't been, save up your money, sell a bunch of crap on eBay, and go to Australia.
I'm scared. I might get arrested.
For what?
Why? You don't know me and my mouth very well.
Oh, those are wonderful people down there. And I'm not saying that just because he's in here. It was, okay, we've been to Australia, and then when we traveled to get the boys, we went to Russia and Ukraine. People are just like just like we are. They're just trying to get through life as comfortable as possible. All the governments are trying to screw them like ours is. So I don't think they allow guns in Australia.
Yeah, you can carry a gun. I can't go. If I can carry my gun with it ain't gonna happen.
Oh boy.
Now I would actually like to go like to Mexico, like we were talking about. Me and Terry was like those hogs and stuff, those pigs. I would like to do that. That would be kind of.
Oh, that's the Bahamas. That's the Bahamas.
Closer, right?
And that I want to do. Actually, I do want to do that. I want to ride a jet ski from Florida to the Bahamas, but I know that's probably not a good idea. So
yeah,
well, they take groups that do that.
Yeah, no, not really. I don't think. I mean, it's really hard to get. You have to have a guide, and it's really hard to get one.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They have they take groups. There's a company that takes groups.
I don't want to get eaten by a shark. You remember that? And I don't want to get off the subject.
Other countries jail eating sharks.
Yeah, I know we're supposed to be talking about reselling, but there's that video of that lady. They were on a cruise ship and they decided to swim in the middle of the ocean, and then she was randomly had her leg bit off by a great white shark. And I know my luck, I would be that person. I'm just saying. I'm scared of sharks. I find them fascinating, but I do not want to be in the same water.
I'll go swimming with them in a cage. But my luck, the little damn thing would come in there and eat me.
No, you see those videos where those sharks come in there with you? No. I'll be happy. I can stand on a boat and say, "Oh yeah, there's a shark." Isn't that
pretty?
Yeah. Oh look, there's a shark. Yeah. No.
Dark Dragon says that at most they will take a bite and then swim off.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't like parts of me.
Good.
It's 75 miles when they. It's 75 miles from like by Miami to like the outer islands of the Bahamas.
Yeah.
I watch YouTube videos on people doing this, but it does get rough out there too.
Yeah, I'm kind of fond of my body parts. I don't need no damn shark swimming off with it. I'm good. I like all of it intact.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm good.
I did get the opportunity to go scuba diving on the Great Barrier Reef when we were out there, and it was
Were
nice.
you scared of sharks? Were you scared?
The group that we were with, the tour group we were with, said that Dark Dragon says shark attacks here are not as frequent as people think.
Yeah, I agree. I know
the area that we were. The area that we were diving in, our dive master said that they don't ever see sharks in there except for small sharks, because the way the waves are, they'll flip them up on top of the coral reefs. So they kind of didn't go in that area that much.
You know, if for me, yeah, I know it's probably very rare occurrence to get bit by a shark, but there's something in the back of my brain saying it would be my luck that I would get bit by a shark, and maybe that's God trying to say you're going to get bit by a shark if you go in the ocean.
Yeah.
Well, Tara, you sound like me, because everybody, when I was a teenager, people said, "Man, you are the straightest teenager." If I had a 10 o'clock curfew, I was home by 10 o'clock. Because just as soon as I didn't, my car would break down for just no reason at all. It would break down. Or somebody would run into me, and I would have to call my dad, and my dad would like, "What the hell are you still doing out? You supposed to have been home 30 minutes ago or 45 minutes ago."
Somebody hit me. That's what you got to use.
But that's the kind of, if anything could go wrong, it would go wrong, and I'd have to listen to my father.
And I don't want to be like that girl in the beginning of Jaws where she's getting drug around the booty and stuff.
No.
Tara, you watch too many TV movies.
I don't care. It's life lessons. It don't matter. I like swimming in a swimming pool, honest to God. I don't even like a lake. There's nothing bad that can happen at a lake, but I don't like anything touching me. I like seaweed touching me, and I like a stick to touch me. I don't like anything. I like to be in a controlled swimming environment. Anyway.
Yeah, I used to be that way. I used to not be that way when I was younger, but now
yeah, me neither. I swim all the time, but now it's like, oh, what was that? What just touched me? Oh, it's but it's just the idea that that stick touched me. I don't even like it.
Yeah, I need to see the bottom.
Y'all were just such girls.
Okay, now we should go back to reselling, Tom. Isn't Deborah supposed to bring us back from the deep end?
I'm a little tired. I'm sorry.
Deborah's tired. Well, that's really about it. All I was going to talk about tonight. I do want to say that if anybody is in the audience that would like to, in future shows, come in here with us, please reach out to me and let me know. We'll get together and do a little bit of FaceTime just to meet each other and whatnot. But I would love to have some other people in here. I like to give people the opportunity to try their hand at this kind of stuff if they haven't done it before. Because as you can tell, we're all pretty upstanding citizens here.
Oh, it's a doggy.
Except for Deborah and Maggie. Maggie's not allowed to vote anymore after she served her 15 years for knocking over liquor stores.
We're evil.
Because, Maggie's the kind of person, she just, Maggie's so sweet, She's the one that's the axe murderer, that kind of stuff like that.
Oh boy, you're harsh tonight, Tom.
I know,
dang.
Luggy.
She's just so sweet.
Luggy knows that.
So anyway, I'm glad y'all could all come with us, come in here and see us, visit with us. Tomorrow night.
Oh, Kathy.
Kathy and Marcel have a show. It's Kathy, you want to throw your link in there?
Hang on. Where's my people that throw my link in there for me? I don't ever have.
I know.
Deb, you got it.
But they have a show, and we just talk politics. You know, have a good time. Friends discussing issues at life. So y'all join them for that. And if
I'll just put it in the chat.
she just
Thank
did.
you, Maggie.
Oh, okay. I'm like on my phone. Everything's not.
Oh, thank you, Summer. He is a great guy. Most guys wouldn't do this.
Not that great.
Thank you,
Don't let the
Mag.
purple fool you.
He looked like he was drinking Kool-Aid.
I know.
Yeah, kids they get Kool-Aid all over their face.
Well, we couldn't figure out what to
Great
do with him.
Kool-Aid.
Oh,
He has no hair, so we can't put it up there.
She is. Maggie's good.
What
And I
time
appreciate it.
is your show? Is it 8?
Do it now?
What time
What time is your show?
do
Did you do 7:30?
7:30.
7:30 Central.
30 Central?
Yeah. We do 7:30 Central,
8:30 Eastern.
8:30 Eastern, and whatever other time zone.
Yeah, we don't live there, so.
I can't keep up with everybody else.
5:30 Pacific.
So that's like, hell, it's 10 o'clock. It's roughly what is it, Dragon, in your time zone now? About 9 o'clock in the morning?
You guys are great.
Aren't you about 12 hours behind the East Coast USA?
Yeah, I think they are.
Now I'm in
Or 14. I think it's 14 hours.
I don't know how they like. I don't know what they like down there.
You know what got me? When we flew out to Sydney, we flew to Los Angeles, and then we flew to Sydney. It's 12 p.m.
A couple things though.
Okay, so it's 12.
There were these Australian families had 4 or 5 kids, and you never heard a word out of those kids. And I had the opportunity to talk to one of the dads, and he's like, "These kids," he says, his mother-in-law and father-in-law lived in St. Louis, and so they were used to flying back and forth between Australia. And I'm thinking to myself, my God, it was just the 2 of us adults, and we will give out when we finally got there. I will say Qantas is a good airline, or it was back then.
It's
So
12
anyway,
p.m. there.
do what?
It's 12 p.m. there.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Karen, you're a mess. She says she invites the 8-year-old that mimics AOC to your show tomorrow night.
That would be awesome.
That would be too damn funny. I like her.
Oh God.
I think Tom has a question for her about a garbage disposal.
Bless her heart. I hope she's not catching any grief because of that. But that is she is so cute, and she does all the hand gestures and.
Oh, girl, yeah. She's too funny.
So anyway, guys, y'all check Marcel and Kathy's show out tomorrow night. And we will see you next week. Oh, if you're available in the morning, 8:30 Central, isn't it? Or is it
8 o'clock. 8 o'clock Central.
8 o'clock Central, Monday through Friday. Chick Picker has a morning show. Be sure and check her out.
And it's not all reselling either. It's fun.
Yeah, it's all over the spectrum.
90% of the time, it's not reselling. It's just whatever we talk about.
Sex most of the time, ain't it?
I don't know what show you're
not.
Marcel. Are you on a different channel?
Yeah, really.
Nikki can come up with some stuff now to blow us off.
That's what Marcel's listening to.
What did you say, Tom?
I said Nikki comes in there and she just comes up with some bunch of foolishness that just blows us all off the channel, you know.
Oh, it's always Nikki, isn't it?
We can depend on Nikki.
We love you, Nikki. We love you. So y'all have a great night. See you next week, and
Hi everybody.
Take care.
Everybody.
Bye,
Night.
Thanks for coming.